Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy. 1961 opened with the most spectacular event in history. A Russian cosmonaut was launched into space. On the dark side of 1961, the literary giant Ernest Hemingway died, apparently a suicide. In lighter news, the electric toothbrush was invented for lazy people who didn't want cavities. In sports, Washington won the Rose Bowl for the second year in a row. On the consumer front, hamburgers cost 50 cents and soft drinks cost a dime. Also in this year, actor Michael J. Fox was born. Up next is the 1961 chapter of Our 20th Century.
1961 was a year of international tensions, compounded by crisis after crisis. It was a year of riots in Cairo to protest Lumumba's death. It was Cuba in a red regime and Castro's boast that he had always been a communist. It was Chombe and warfare in the Congo, with that young nation torn asunder by civil strife. 1961 was Laos, now under the uneasy rule of a neutralist regime. And it was South Vietnam, battling red guerrillas. It was the year that the Algerian War continued to pit brother against brother. This was 1961. In January, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was sworn in as the 35th President of the United States and began the momentous task of guiding the nation through the critical years ahead. It was a solemn ceremony as he took the oath of office and assumed the burden laid down by Mr. Eisenhower. Man had his first great success in space when the Russians pushed a man across the threshold. He was Yuri Gagarin, the astronaut the Russians lionized as the first to orbit the Earth. It was the propaganda coup of the year. After the Russian flight, U.S. plans were accelerated. Commander Alan B. Shepard was sent into suborbital flight. Unlike the Russian venture, this took place in the white-hot glare of worldwide publicity. The Mercury capsule is right on course as the commander took over the controls to become the first man to guide a spacecraft. 115 miles up, he went 300 miles downrange, right on target, and was picked up by waiting helicopters. The triumph of Alan B. Shepard, U.S. space pioneer. Following in Commander Shepard's star-studded footsteps came Captain Virgil Grissom. Everything is A-OK until the heartbreaking finale. As the captain prepared to leave the capsule, explosive bolts on the escape hatch let go, and the Mercury is lost. However, the moon gets closer. The line of demarcation in the Cold War lies in Berlin. West Berlin, with its burgeoning prosperity, is a thorn in the side of the Reds. Refugees from the east escaped by the tens of thousands, until the communists in desperation threw up their wall of hate to seal off the border. In a decade, more than 4 million East Germans fled their homes, causing a drain on communist Germany's economy that was called no longer tolerable. Their answer, the wall. Now entire families are separated, their only communication a wave from a distance. This is heartbreak. This is the poignant drama not found in the reports of diplomats. A bride in the East can only wave to her mother in the West. She takes her vows in public loneliness. The border is strengthened, but still they escape. She hangs from a second-story window. The Red police try to pull her back. The Westerners try to free their grip. East Germans grasp any fleeting chance. A guard's back is turned, the barbed wire is slashed, and Westerners stretch forth willing hands to pull them to asylum. They gamble that a sudden rifle shot won't end their dreams, that a slip won't bring disaster. Freedom is man's most prized possession, and it is only for those who love it. It's the night of the Blue Ribbon Sweepstakes in Hollywood, the Oscar Awards. Screen luminaries Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh are among the celebrities present. And so is Gene Simmons. Tonight climaxes a year of hard work. Tonight the best efforts in motion picture production are rewarded. Eva Marie Saint announces the Best Supporting Actor.
The winner is Peter Ustinov and Spartacus.
Mr. Ustinov gets his Oscar for his work in Universal Pictures' Spartacus, a spectacle that won 4 awards for a major share of the night's honors. A versatile writer, actor, and director, the bearded Mr. Ustinov is a popular choice with everyone. Hugh Griffith and the presentation for the Best Supporting Actress.
Miss Shirley Jones.
Shirley Jones came from the musical comedy stage to gain further triumphs in movies, and tonight is the grand climax to her career. She receives close to an ovation from the glittering crowd. The tension mounts as Greer Garson announces the Best Actor.
And the winner is Burt Lancaster.
Burt Lancaster played a convincing preacher in Sinclair Lewis's Elmer Gantry, a demanding role. Well done. Things move to a climax as all eyes are on Yul Brynner and the Best Actress of the Year award.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Convalescing from her recent grave illness, Elizabeth Taylor receives a prolonged accolade from the audience. It's a popular choice, an Oscar for the beauty who is a winner after 4 successive tries. Audrey Hepburn and the year's Best Picture.
The Apartment, Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder accepts as producer, and Gala Knight for Filmland. At the White House, the Christmas tree is up in all its glory, ready for the first Christmas in the presidential mansion for Mr. and Mrs. Kennedy. A group of designers had a hand in decorating the tree in the manner of Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite. A visit with ill and crippled children. The First Lady expressed a wish to make the visit so that she might try to bring a little cheer to the unfortunate tots who will have to greet Santa Claus here. Some just have visions of sugar plums as Mrs. Kennedy passes from ward to ward with a little token for each child. The gracious lady finds most a little shy, but none shy enough to refuse her gift. A Christmas visit in Washington, a glimpse into the busy life of the First Lady. The story that had a grim preface in the horror of Nazi concentration camps comes to an equally grim end in Israel, as Adolf Eichmann is sentenced for his crimes against humanity. Defense attorney Robert Savatius will automatically appeal, but this is the end for Eichmann, who was seized in Buenos Aires in 1960 and spirited to Israel. The 3 judges started to study the evidence when the 4-month trial ended in August and found Eichmann guilty on 15 counts of the indictment. In his bulletproof booth, Eichmann sits stoically as the charges are summed up. The unseen witnesses against this former Gestapo colonel are the 6 million Jews he is convicted of slaughtering. The judges then call on the defendant to stand as they pass their sentence. The end of a trail of blood and horror. The end of a man whose name will be written in infamy. The man who escaped the Nuremberg war trials by fleeing to South America receives justice at the hands of the people whom he had aimed to wipe out. Roger Maris left and Mickey Mantle were murder and mayhem for the Yankees. Maris bloomed with his long ball in 1961 and scattered home runs into the stands like hailstones. He led an assault along with Mantle on Babe Ruth's home run record of 60. And for a while it was nip and tuck as to which of the two would be the one to break the record set by the Babe in 1927. Since Ruth's day, the season has been expanded, and Maris did not hit his 61st until the Yankees' final game. He didn't break the old mark within 154 games, but a new record he did chalk up. The Yankees were in the World Series again in 1961 against the Cincinnati Reds. Whitey Ford led the assault and pitched brilliant ball. His pitching, along with Yankee power, gave them the World Championship 4-1. The Braves meet the Giants in Milwaukee, and baseball history is being made by Willie Mays, who faces Lou Burdett in the first inning and promptly smashes his first home run of the day. Only 8 men, including the great Lou Gehrig, have hit 4 home runs in one game. Today, Willie is joining that select circle. The Say Hey Boy was hitless in this series against the Braves until today, but he bounces back with a vengeance. His round tripper in the 4th is a 400-foot belt. The fences are bending today, for other players are on home run sprees too. Before the game's over, there'll be 10 circuit crops, including the incomparable Willie's 3rd blast in the 6th. Ball hit with everything behind it. The Milwaukee crowd is all for Willie now as he steps in the 8th and proceeds to poke his record-tying homer into the stands. Until today, Willie thought he was in a batting slump. Well, he found the cure by scattering baseballs into the bleachers. It was May's Day in Milwaukee as Willie found his page in the record book.